Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gothy Roundtable, the official talk show of r/goth. I'm Cadaver Kelly, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello.
Unfortunately, our third co-host, Caroline, could not join us this month, but she is with us in spirit. Our topic for this episode is Absolution Fest 2022. Absolution Fest is a 3-day dark music festival that happens every October in the Ybor section of Tampa, Florida. Our guest is joining us for a second year in a row. He's one of the organizers for the festival, one of the co hosts of Communion After Dark, and a show promoter in the Tampa area. Mark Paradise, welcome to the roundtable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.
We're excited to have you again. So we're going to spend most of the episode talking about Absolution Fest. But before we
Yes.
do, tell our viewers about Communion After Dark, your local Tampa show promotions, and any
hmm
other projects you'd like to share.
Sure. Community After Dark is a weekly podcast that we put on I just said weekly. And we've been doing it for about almost going on 15 years now. So we highlight music, in the scene, very wide variety of music. We don't really stick to one genre. Our show is on YouTube, Mixcloud, Apple podcasts. It's all over the place. We run pretty much most streaming services. We're also on Spotify. So yeah, but the main goal for our show behind Community After Dark, anyways, is just to highlight the music, post-punk, industrial, electro, whatever it may be. The new stuff that's coming out. That's our goal.
Excellent. And Mark, tell our viewers where they can find Communion After Dark and find your other projects online.
Easiest place to find it would be communityafterdark.com. Yeah, I mean, there are we have a link tree as well. I'm not great with the whole link tree addresses, but if you go to Linktree and you put in Community After Dark, there we do have a link tree, and that actually has all our links on it. Where you can find us. We have the YouTube channel as well, so if you go to YouTube, you can put in Community After Dark, and it'll pull up on there. Or just Google us. Just Google Community After Dark, and probably that might be even easier, and usually it'll pop up right away. So that would be the
Welcome
best way to
to
find
our
us. And
little
as far as like you were
slice
mentioning,
of
local, yeah, I do promote
madness.
concerts here under Community After Dark. I productions. So I've been doing that now for a number of years. Yeah, and Absolution is one of the things that I do under Community After Dark Productions, along with Endoxa Booking. They're the other partner that I work with for that festival.
Excellent. And for everyone watching this back on YouTube, I will put some links in the description. I'll link the websites and link trees for both Communion After Dark and for Absolution Fest. So, Mark, before we talk about the lineup for this year, any high level introductions you want to give to the viewers on Absolution Fest for those who may not have heard of it or haven't been to the festival before?
Yeah, Absolution Fest again is like you mentioned already. You did a good description. It's a 3-day dark alternative event that we do here in Ybor City, Tampa, Florida. It's part of Tampa, anyways. And but it's located in Ybor City this year at Crowbar, which is the venue that it'll be happening at. It's a 3-day festival again with 18 bands. This will be the third year that we've done it. And yeah, I mean, it's people have been coming from all over the place for the event the first 2 years, which was really amazing and very exciting to have everybody down here and see new faces and people local as well who are going out and enjoying it. But the goal is, just to try and keep a event going here in Florida. This is, currently the only dark alternative, like extended event that goes on for multiple days. And that's basically the idea behind it, and to have a good time and love music, enjoy music with people who also love it.
Absolutely. And for everyone watching, I'm going to be at Absolution Fest this year. I have been to all of them so far. So returning for the third time this year. It is such a fun event. If anyone sees me at the festival, feel free to say hello. Um, This year, it's going to run from Thursday, October 6th to Saturday, October 8th. And as Mark mentioned, all 3 nights are going to be at Crowbar in Ybor. There is a spectacular lineup this year. So let's jump into talking about the artists for the 3 nights, starting with night one. So first up is Element 104, a synth pop band from Miami. Mark, tell us about Element 104.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so Element 104 is, as you mentioned, a dark synth pop. I guess, I mean, if you're looking for genres, they play like wide variety, but they are from Miami. They're I think they're really the only current band we have this year that's from Florida that's playing. But they're excellent. I had him play a show number of months back. They played a show for me, and I had never heard them before, but fantastic live band, very talented artists. And they'll appeal to many people who enjoy anything like from dark wave to synth pop to post punk, because they have all those different elements included in their music. So yeah, I'm excited to have them back. Very, very good. And I think that people who may have not heard this band before will be happy to discover them. They have a really good sound.
Yeah, Element 104 is great dancing music. And as you mentioned, a lot of these bands on the lineup do have a variety of sounds, depending on the track or the album, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like they mix and match some of those different genres. So for any viewers, when I'm mentioning like a genre or style for these artists, it's just giving you a general idea of sort of what area the band falls in. But a lot of these bands do have a variety of different sounds or styles that they play around with. So the next one on the lineup for the first night is XTR Human. At a high level, I'd say that this is a German EBM artist. Mark, tell us a little more about XTR Human.
No, I mean, you pretty much, nailed it. I mean, he's coming over from Germany, all the way over from Germany to play this event. I believe he's doing he's doing maybe a small tour in the United States. I'm not really sure about that, but I'm excited that he's coming to Absolution to play. He's going to be coming with Rex Arcana, who is from up there in
A
New York
new
area and stuff.
cultist
They're actually,
arrives.
I believe that's his
Come,
touring manager.
indulge
So
yourself.
yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I've heard his music. I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's dark EBM, electro, with very dancey music. I think he'll put on a great event. Show. I'm sorry. I've never seen him live before, but I'm very excited to hear his performance and just to get to enjoy. And I think he'll keep the night going, or kick it off with some real high energy music there for sure. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm just glad that again, that's an international artist that's coming all the way over from Germany to play for everybody. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, excellent. The next artist I'm very excited about because I absolutely adore. This is a synth pop and dark wave artist from Seattle, Hexheart. Mark, tell us about Hexheart.
Yeah, Jason, or Hexhart, Jason Bangert. He's awesome. I love Jason. I mean, I've known Jason for many, many years, and he, of course, is behind the Dark Electro project, God Module, and then he started up Hexhart a number of years ago as another project because he loves um, post punk, dark wave, synth pop. He loves all that stuff. So he combined all those elements and so did an amazing Cure cover too on his new release. Uh, so yeah, check out his brand new release for sure. He is, I've never seen him play as Hexharp before. I've seen him play many times over the years as God Module, but I'm very excited about this because the new Hexheart album that he released, I believe it was called Midnight.
Midnight on a Moonless Night.
There you go. Yep, that is a really good album. I thought he did his evolution in sound from the first album he did as Hexheart to the second one was excellent. So yeah, I'm very excited to have him. I love Jason again, and I think he's a great guy, and yeah, he's gonna put on a good performance. He always does. So I mean, he'll get everybody excited for sure.
Awesome. I'm a big Twin Peaks nerd. I love the
Hmm.
the show Twin Peaks, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that album name Midnight on a Moonless Night is a Twin Peaks reference because that is a line from Twin Peaks. So maybe if I get a chance to talk to him, I'll ask him about that. But Hexheart definitely a very different sound from God
Oh
Module,
yes. Hmm.
and I really love the style and what he's done with Hexheart. So very excited for that performance. The next one I'm sure is going to be a crowd pleaser. Washington D.C. based synth pop project. It's the project of Luna Blanc. Syzygics, really great stuff. I think anyone who's a fan of acts like Boy Harsher would probably like Syzygics.
Right.
Um, but Mark, anything else to add about Syzygics?
I'm just excited to finally have Luna playing in Tampa because it's been a while that I've been trying to bring that project down to Tampa, so it'll be a good time. And on her project is on Cold Transmission, which is a great label, obviously they're out of Germany. And yeah, I'm just excited. Like you said, her sound fits in really well. The project fits in really well with like Boy Harsher or Axel on those lines. And of course, I think it's dancey music again. It's another band that you're going to keep moving to, and I'm excited to see the performance, and finally hear the music live because I've always enjoyed the releases that have been put out by Syzygics.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one as well. I mean, all of these nights of the festival are going to be amazing. The first night is going to be very dance worthy for me because this is all the kind of stuff that I really like to dance to, like the synth heavy stuff with the punctuated beats.
Yes.
So next up for night one is an industrial artist from Sacramento. Sacramento. Oh, sorry, can't pronounce words today, but Bestial Mouths. So, Mark, tell us about Bestial Mouths.
I mean, Bestial Mouse again, as you mentioned, has a large Lynette, I believe, is the driving force behind Bestial Mouse, and I've seen video clips of Lynette's performance, and it looks very interesting and very eclectic and exciting to see live. So I'm looking forward to that. Bestial Mouse has definitely a very distinct sound, and like you said, it's got that some industrial elements to it. There's dark wave elements. It's yeah, I think I think Bestial Mouse can fit in really well with all the other acts on that night. They all flow very well together, I believe. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Lynette perform and get a chance to meet Lynette as well and hear the band. I mean, because again, it's another artist that I've been looking forward to having in Tampa, and now we get to have them all in one place at Absolution. So it's exciting.
Very exciting. And the or headlining, it looks like for the first night is another international artist, French dark wave duo Minuit Machine. So, Mark, tell us about Minuit Machine.
Yeah, I love Minuit Machine. Very excited about this performance. Can't wait. Coming all the way, like you said, from France, Helene, and oh, I'm so bad with names. I don't want to just, but Almadine, is that the other artist? I believe I'd have to research it. I don't want to give bad information, but it's a duo, and Helene also is behind the project Haunt as well, or Aunt from France. Runs their own runs label Synth Religion. Amazing artist. Minuit Machine has so many different elements. Of course, their music. If you don't know their music, you definitely need to check it out because I mean, there's dark wave techno and EBM, all those elements mixed together, and it's a fantastic sound. Very dancey, and it's going to be exciting. That's definitely the highlight for me. I mean, I'm excited about all the bands, but that was like one band. That was like actually the first band that I asked to play Absolution this year for 2022. So yeah, I'm very excited to have Minuit Machine coming down to play. And Helene, has chronicled her issues she's had recently with her hearing and stuff from her unfortunate bout she had with COVID. So I mean, I'm excited to have her. I'm glad she's able to come, and I'm just yeah, it's gonna be fun. Good time, definitely 100%. And she's represented by Spectral Music as well, which is another great management company that's representing a lot of these artists, a few of the artists actually that are playing at Absolution Fest this year. So I wanted to mention that as well.
Excellent. Yeah, fantastic lineup for that first night. So night 2 kicks off with Die Robot, an electro-industrial band from Portland. And I'm very picky when it comes to like electro and industrial, more of that like very heavy electronic side. But I really love Die Robot. So Mark, tell our viewers a little bit about Die Robot.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think you nailed most of it. I mean, I have not seen Die Robot live before, but I've talked to Barbie from the band many times, and Barbie is an extremely wonderful person to talk with. And I've seen their performances online, and the performances look very fun, exciting. So I'm looking forward to having them here. With all the bands, there's no bands I'm not excited about, but Die Robot definitely. I think from what I've seen online, if you go search their shows, it looks like just a fun time. It'll be a great way to kick off the second night of Absolution, I think, for sure.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And second on the lineup for night 2 is Chicago-based darkwave band French Police, and they really have that classic goth darkwave sound. Play a lot with that like first wave, kind of like goth mixed with like some synth pop elements. So tell us a little bit about French Police.
Yeah, French Police is, like you mentioned, a band out of Chicago. I believe, I'm not sure how many artists are now in the project. I know it used to be 3. I know, I believe it's down to more like 2, a duo now. But yeah, I mean, I think the first night, you're going to mention more bands, obviously, or the second night, I'm sorry, but you're going to mention more bands. But like French Police has that like post-punk, dark wave sound to them, which I think fits in extremely well with the second night. That's kind of the theme with the second night, maybe a little more along those lines. Amazing artists, but French Police, from what I've heard online, yeah, great stuff. Again, good fans of post-punk, dark wave will I think will love them, and they're an up and coming artist who I think you're going to hear a lot more about as the years go on.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm excited for that one. It's right up my alley. I tend to specialize the most in kind of like the post-punk dark wave side of things. So really excited for French Police.
Yeah, I would have loved to see them myself, actually.
Yeah, really great stuff. I haven't seen them live yet, but I've been following them on Bandcamp, and I'm really enjoying everything that they've put out so far. So next up for night 2, we have English darkwave duo Corlix, which this one I think actually is more along the lines of, or reminds me more of some of the third wave darkwave stuff. So like fans of like the 90s and 2000s darkwave, I think would really enjoy Corlix.
Yeah, I'm excited to have Corlix. I mean, again, it's another international artist to have come down here and play. And Caitlin and Brandon from the band. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them. Wonderful people. Their music has varied, like you said. I think with it depending on the album, they've kind of switched up their sounds. Their last release, they had more of a post-punk sound to it. With some, more they had more with the guitars, and then the album before that was more electro. So, yeah, I think I mean, again, they're another one of those bands that you watch their performances and it looks like a large amount of fun, like they're having just a great time on stage, and their music sounds wonderful. So, should be exciting. I'm excited that they're coming all the way over from the UK to play for us here, for this event, because I don't believe they're doing too many additional shows, if any, other than Absolution Fest. So, hey, yeah, you want to see Corlix live? I think it'll be a fun time. Come over to Absolution Fest for sure for that one.
Yeah, everyone come to Absolution Fest.
Yes.
So the next artist on the lineup, another international act, Italian darkwave band Hapax, and I think that this one, a lot of folks are probably going to come out for this one as well. And Hapax, they're kind of like a mix of sounds, like a lot of these bands. They have some elements of post-punk, some goth elements, some synth pop. So kind of that overall gothy darkwave sort of sound.
Yes, amazing band. I love them. I mean, I'm very excited about them, and I say Hapax, so I don't know if I'm probably saying it incorrect.
Oh, I used to say hay packs, but I heard a few people say hat packs. I'm not sure
Okay.
which.
Well, I'm probably wrong. More than likely, I don't pronounce too many things the proper way normally. But anyways, yeah, no, I'm very excited about them. And they're a trio, if I'm not mistaken. So great. Like you said, you've already nailed it on the head. If you like dance music, dark dance, I like the term, which I can't take credit for this. This was more from DJ Mouse, but she came up with dark alternative. That's what I like. I like that term, and I think that is a perfect explanation. Like if you're looking for like a umbrella term for this band, that's it. I mean, because their music is fantastic, great vocals, coming all the way from Italy. It's going to be an amazing show. I cannot wait. Looking forward to seeing them. Never gotten a chance to see them before, so I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, and that's a great umbrella term for Absolution Fest and the Communion After Dark
Mm-hmm.
scope, dark alternative or dark underground music,
Yes.
and that's what all of this the theme across all of this music is that it's dark in sound, it's all like alternative or underground, not on the Billboard charts kind of music. So really great stuff. Next on the lineup is the Foreign Resort, which is a post-punk and new wave band from Copenhagen. So another international act coming in the country. They have a really cool, almost like 2000s reminiscent sound. When I listen to them, I'm definitely reminded of some of the stuff that I used to listen to in the 2000s, the MySpace era.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're amazing. I've seen them live in Germany before. They put on a great show, so I'm really looking forward to having them here to play as well for people who've not had a chance to see them before. But yeah, they had that one song. One song. They had a song "She Is Lost," I believe, is the name of the track, which they put out. It was about 4 years ago now, but that track just blew me away when it came out. I still think it's one of the most fantastic songs that's come out in the last number of years, and just in general, if you haven't seen them live, you'll be very excited. They're nonstop energy from beginning to end with their songs. Good, very good band. Yeah, definitely worth the price of admission for them and the other artists on that Friday night.
Absolutely. And concluding night two, another international artist. So this is a very international heavy night.
Yeah.
A UK based duo, the KVB, and they're they're hard to categorize.
Yes.
You could maybe call them like shoegaze, post punk, synth pop. Like
Hmm.
they've got all that kind of stuff in the mix.
Yeah, KVB is amazing. I mean, they've played many large festivals. I forget a few that they played in the United States this year already. They draw a very large crowd normally for their shows. So very excited to have them, coming over and playing our event, because it's a duo, the band again. I think like all those bands on that night, the sound is very similar. But KVB, as you mentioned, their sound drifts of different styles. Some songs are more synth pop. They have some songs that are more EBM style with the beats, anyways, that they use, and then there's others that are more post punk and ethereal type sounding a little bit. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to having them here. It's going to be a great show. And they've, like I said, they've toured with some pretty big bands, and they've played some pretty big shows. So it'll be exciting to have them at Absolution for sure.
Absolutely. And so that's the Friday night show. Really cool lineup. Night three, Saturday night, is going to be opened up by Violent Vicky, who's a dark ambient artist from Long Beach, California. And I've really been loving Violent Vicky. So, Mark, tell us a little more about
Yeah, I
Violent
mean,
Vicky.
what you said is correct. I mean, that's her sound, and it's appeal. I think it'll appeal to a large amount of people who like that sound. From what I've heard, like you mentioned, is really enjoyable, the music. She's been remixed by some really cool artists recently too, like Contravoid and some other cool artists that on her most recent release. Good stuff though, yeah. And another great artist that's going to kick off and coming all the way from California. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Vicky play the show, Violent Vicky. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good time for sure.
Excellent. And next up is an experimental dark pop artist from Virginia, The Purge, aka Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, really nice guy. I've been trying. I actually had him originally scheduled to play a couple of years ago, and then it just kind of didn't work out because of everything that was going on. So glad that he was able to pull it off this year. His sound is varies again. I think he'll appeal to a large amount of people who either like dark wave music. He had the great song "The Rain," and it was fantastic track. I remember hearing that. And I was like, this is just, great artist that I really have to learn more about. And yeah, his music's fun. And I'm looking forward to meeting Thomas. He's been a very dedicated supporter as well of Community After Dark. So I'm excited to have him, at the event.
Very cool. And next up, this one's right up my alley because I really love like 80s style synth pop.
Yeah.
So California based synth pop duo Glass Spells. Really looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, me too. I am too. I'm a big fan of 80s synth pop. I grew up in the 80s. So for me, it's just, when there's bands that do it well still, those, they always really appeal to me. And that recent Glass Spells release on Negative Game Productions was fantastic from beginning to end. So if you want to hear a good release, go check that out. They have a similar sound to bands like, I don't know if you're familiar with bands like Marshall, which is a band out of Europe, but very similar in that style. And yeah, excellent synth pop. I'm excited to have them for sure. And they're coming all the way, like you mentioned as well, from California for this. So I appreciate them taking such a long traveling because I think they're just coming straight to Absolution from California and playing the show. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am as well. And the next artist I am so excited about because I've been meaning to see them live for years now. Canadian post punk band Traders. Traders, I think that they definitely take some influence from The Cure. I can hear that a little bit in their sound, but of course they have their own like unique sound, like a modernized unique take on that like classic post punk sound. And they've been playing around with some synth work in some of their more recent releases as well.
Yeah, Traders is amazing. I'm very excited to have them as well. I know that they're also, uh, you know, starting to play a large amount more shows than they have in the U.S. Recently, and I've never seen them before. But they were one of those bands that I've been really excited about having over for Absolution. I mean, for a couple of years now. Another band that I tried to get a couple of years ago didn't work out. So very excited about that. They've put out some amazing songs, and yeah, they have some, like, if you're a fan of The Cure, sure. I mean, you could definitely hear that influence and in some of their songs, no doubt about that. The vocal style. So yeah, I don't think anybody who's a fan of a fan maybe like of The Cure that will be disappointed when they see this band. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, they have that driving guitar sound, which is amazing, very dark. Looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, I love that like post-punk guitar sound. So
Hmm.
really love Traders. I actually covered Traders for the Project Goth playlist tag, which was kind of a YouTube trend that a group of us started back in 2019. So I have a little more information in that video. I'll link it in the description for anyone who's watching this back on YouTube. Next up for the third and final night is dark electronic pop group from London. So another international artist, Empathy Test. They actually have a very unique modernized sound. We talk a
Yeah.
lot about like 80s influence with some of these bands, but I think Empathy Test really brings like kind of a modern style into the mix.
Yes, I agree. And Empathy Test is amazing live. I had a chance to see them when they came on tour. Man, and I forget who they opened for, of course, but the tour that they came on a couple years ago over to the United States, I don't remember if it was Aesthetic Perfection that they opened for, but whoever it was, I was just blown away by their performance. His vocals are amazing. Ian's vocals from Empathy Test, he's just got a fantastic voice, and when you see him live, he just blows you away because he's very large amount of depth behind his his vocals and the lyrics, and he has very like some of those songs are extremely moving. I mean, there you could just it's one of those bands that if you listen intently to the lyrics and to the way the track is put together, it should inspire you in some way or make you think at least a little bit. But yeah, very very much looking forward to having Empathy Test here on Saturday to play with those other artists.
Yes, and the final artist playing the final night, the Saturday night show, actually played Absolution Fest in 2019, the first Absolution Fest. So they're returning for a second Absolution. Beautiful dark wave band from Sacramento, California. I think they call themselves Party Goth, which is, I think, an appropriate descriptor because they bring a lot of fun energy to their live performances. But Crew Lies.
Yeah, Crew Lie is amazing. I'm not supposed to really have favorites, but since I'm putting the show together, but they were one of my favorite definitely performances from the first year by far because and then I've also seen them once after that as well, and they're just fantastic. Like you said, it's just a fun time. I mean, fun show. They don't take themselves extremely seriously, whereas like when they come on stage they're out there to party and have fun with the audience, and their music's just fantastic live. I mean, great band. I love Crew Lies, and I can't wait to have them back and playing with these other artists. I think all the nights I tried to put the artists together that I thought fit well to I mean, they're not all the same type of styles because I didn't want people just to be hearing the one style the whole night and then not get a little bored maybe as time goes on. But I think like they all flow very well together, these artists, and they have similar sounds to them that'll keep people very happy, and they're all amazing. Some of these like Crew Lies and Empty Test on that night, the vocals and Traders, yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Fantastic, way to end the evening and end Absolution Fest as well.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for that performance because Crew Lie's most recent full album release, Goodbye Divine, was just absolutely gorgeous. Love that album.
Yep.
So really excited to see them. And that is the full lineup for the festival. Just a spectacular lineup this year. Really excited for all 3 nights of the festival.
Yeah, I am too. And I did want to mention as well, because we have a few DJs. I mean, it's we'll have DJs playing at each night, and then we'll have DJs. There'll be after parties as well, but for the event itself, there'll be a Starry Night who played. Of course, the first 2 Absolution Fest, and they're a fantastic band. But Michael was kind enough from a Starry Night to come down and DJ. He'll be DJing on Friday night, so I'm looking forward to having him back. And I think a Starry Night's amazing. So, and they're blowing up, touring everywhere right now. So that'll be fun. Can come out and meet Michael, and then also we have Rex Arcana, as I mentioned, DJing on Saturday. Rex is a legend in the DJ scene, and he's been doing it forever. So he will be doing Saturday, coming all the way from New York. I believe he lives in New York now, or he still lives in New York. And then he's a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, by the way.
I don't watch sports, but
but you gotta know who the Steelers are if you live in Pittsburgh. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know all about it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then there's also DJ Winters, who is part of Community After Dark, who will be spinning on Thursday. I'm very excited to have her back as well. And then Vamp Daddy, DJ Vamp Daddy, will be spinning on Friday with a Starry Night with Michael from A Starry Night. So that'll be fun. And Vamp Daddy, of course, is from Obscure Undead. So, and he's been doing a large amount of promotion for Absolution. So I really appreciate all the work he's done. He's done like the reels that we've put out and all that. He's actually created all that himself. So he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, those are some amazing DJs, some of which are friends of mine, Michael, Ian, Melissa, really, really great lineup of DJs as well. And DJ Vamp Daddy, aka Ian, has been a guest on Gothy Roundtable in the past.
Cool.
He was our guest for our Halloween special last year.
Nice.
So if anyone wants to see Vamp Daddy on Gothy Roundtable, the Halloween special from our first season is out there, and I'll if I remember, I'll link that in the description for those watching back on YouTube as well. So really cool lineup with the DJs. And like you said, A Starry Night, the band played the first two Absolution Fest, and Michael from A Starry Night is DJing this year. So it's always great to see Michael. Next, I think we should take a few moments and mention this year's sponsors. So you had already mentioned the partner for organizing the festivals in Doxa Booking,
Yes.
but there are a number of sponsors and affiliates for this year. So first up is Procession Magazine.
Yeah, I appreciate Procession Magazine was kind enough too recently. If you want to check out their latest magazine, I have an article in there, so I really appreciate that. I just wanted to give a little plug for that because I thought it was so awesome that they went out of their way to allow me to be in their magazine. But yeah, Absolution's great. Procession is great, and you should definitely check out their magazine. Chris has been a large amount of help. He came down last year, and he's a fantastic person. Procession, covers all different styles, of the our scene, and bands, articles. It's very well written, good stuff. I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate them, taking their time out to allow us to, be part of their magazine, and also that they were so willing to be a sponsor this year of the event. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, Chris and the whole staff for Procession Magazine are fantastic. Got to spend some time with them for Absolution Fest last year, so I'm excited to see them again for this year. Procession Magazine has just been so amazing. I think it started as a pandemic project for Chris. He started it after the shutdown, and it's really a throwback to some of the great like old underground alternative magazines of yore, like Propaganda Magazine, Drop Dead Magazine. There were a lot of great magazines like that over the years. So to see like a modernized version of that Procession Magazine is really cool. I'm a big fan of print media. So for those of you who are interested in collecting more print media, I would recommend getting a subscription to Procession Magazine. I sign up for the subscription on like auto refill. And so every time they release a new issue, I get that to my mailbox. Really great stuff. They cover a lot of really awesome artists. Mark, as you mentioned, really great writing in that magazine as well. So the next sponsor is EBM Worldwide. Mark, tell us about EBM Worldwide.
Chris Dean, who is behind EBM Worldwide, has really done a large amount for the scene. I mean, so I'm just thrilled that he was kind enough to sponsor Absolution. But Chris has really garnered a large following. It seems like on Twitch, he's done a large amount of charity events on Twitch where he's raised money for very important causes. I forget, he raised thousands and thousands of dollars over the past. He started doing a large amount of it during the pandemic and stuff, and then he's just kind of expanded. But he's brought in a large amount of DJs for these events, and he does very important work. And he also, I believe, he's in the Maryland area, if I'm not mistaken. He also helps out with like concerts over there and stuff, as far as like the local scene and putting money into that and trying to keep that going. So yeah, he's amazing, amazing person. Very appreciative of him, and check out EBM Worldwide on Twitch again, because he does have a large presence on Twitch. Yeah, I'm happy. I hope he comes down, because I've met him before. He's a wonderful person, and I don't know if he's able to make it or not this year, but I would love to get a chance to talk with him again.
Excellent. Next up is Negative Gain.
A Negative Gain is the label, of course, who specializes in many genres of music. I love Negative Gain Productions. It was started by Micah and Roger. And I usually, if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. But Roger was from the band Kevorkian Death Cycle, which was a band that started in the 90s and still going today. Micah was in a band too called, I want to say it was called Cruciform Injection at one time. But they started this label up. They've done a fantastic job. It continues to grow. A couple of the artists who I know Glass Spells is definitely on Negative Gain. But last year we had Curse Mackey, who played Absolution. He was also on Negative Gain. I don't remember everybody else from their roster. Eon Rings, who's a local artist here, they just signed recently. Bestial Mouths is another band that's been on Negative Gain. I believe is still on Negative Gain. So that's another artist that's playing this year that's on their label. But yeah, if you want, check out Negative Gain Productions, their website. They put out music on a regular basis. They have some amazing artists on there. They even have released the last Information Society album, the same band from the late 80s, early 90s that was huge at one time, and they're still going. And yeah, good stuff. I love the label, and I love the fact that they're keep going. Twin Tribes is another one of those bands that I believe is, I don't know if they're still on Negative Game. I believe they might be, or they were at one time. But Twin Tribes played Absolution a couple years ago. So fantastic label, though. Fantastic label. And I appreciate them being kind enough to, again, sponsor Absolution this year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then the last one, I'll just go ahead and grab this one. This is more, it's a harder explanation. I know we have it listed as March for Science, but March for Science itself is not really sponsoring Absolution. It is a professor from Tallahassee who is very passionate about the music, and he is a scientist, and he travels all around the world, and he is actually doing was kind enough to donate and be a sponsor this year for Absolution, and he loves science, and he like I said, he pushes it to any ends. If you ever talk to him, one of the smartest people I've ever talked to. He will actually be at Absolution Fest this year as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, if you love science, check out March for Science for sure. And keep pushing for the innovations in the world, because it's what's driving everything. But yeah, I'm really excited that Lance, who's the professor, was willing to do that for us this year and actually sponsor us. So those are all our sponsors for right now. And Obscure and Dead. I don't want to forget Obscure and Dead, because Obscure and Dead has done so much for Absolution with as I mentioned before, Ian Vamp Daddy has done a large amount behind the scenes with the reels and promotion on Instagram. The Community After Dark Instagram, he helps me out with that periodically as well. And then DJ Azzy, who is the driving force behind Obscure and Dead, has taken on, spearheaded some of the other projects that we have with Absolution. So I thank both of them very much. And then Mouse, who is part of Community After Dark and part of Obscure and Dead as well, has also joined in and helped out tremendously. We have interviews that Azzy and Mouse put together for some of the bands, and we're still compiling those, but those will be coming out soon. So they went out of their way to do all that work. And then Azzy also is running the website, the absolutionfest.com website. So that's our website, by the way, absolutionfest.com. But Azzy, yeah, she runs that. So it's much appreciated from Obscure and Dead. And thank you to all the sponsors. They've all been fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, we love Obscure Undead. Push and promote Obscure Undead as much as we can here. Both myself and Caroline are missing co-hosts for this month. We both are contributors to Obscure Undead. So I've written a few things for them here and there. And last year I joined Ian Vamp Daddy on a video interview with Boot Blacks when I was down there for Absolution Fest. So really great stuff. Obscura Undead, along with Communion After Dark, are both great sources for keeping up with music news in the dark music scene.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm not gonna argue there. I mean, we've been, with Community After Dark. That's one thing, as I mentioned earlier, that I've tried for many years now, was just to focus on music, because it's what I love. And so that's I usually use the word. I've been using the word fruit salad lately, which I know it sounds silly, but it's the way I look at music, because I don't really look at it as genres. The music that I listen to in this scene is so varied, and that's what we try and push on Community After Dark. So when you listen to it, the goal is to have, like, if you're a listener, you're going to find something on the show that you might enjoy. You may not like everything, but you're going to find something, and the goal is to push the artists out there, the new music that they're putting out, for people to get excited about, and go purchase and help out these artists, and come and see them live when they tour, for sure. I mean, that's another important thing, because live music is what drives these bands, for sure. No, there's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. And I definitely agree with you there. I'm one who's actually known for categorizing music into like genres and subgenres, but I always try to make a point to mention that there is so much variance in sound and styles with the music in the scene. It's all fantastic. So the stuff with mentioning like a genre or a style is never meant to like box anyone in or anything like that. That's more just, it's for cataloging and for if people have more specific taste with the music that they like.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. I'm also an old fart, so I mean, like, a lot of times with some of the stuff, I'm like, it goes beyond me, because when I first got into the scene back in the '80s, it was just like one scene at the time. So I mean, and then it seemed like genres kind of became more of a thing over the years, where it was more like people were more interested in knowing what genre it is of the dark scene. But I just love the dark scene in general. So I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. But like you said, even with Absolution, we do have like genres. I mean, that we want people to understand that, hey, if you like specifically post punk, there's plenty of bands there for you to see. If you like dark wave or synth pop, there's plenty of those artists for you to see. So yeah, we're trying to incorporate all those genres under one umbrella, and make it exciting for everybody that comes.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that because I do love a wide variety of these styles. Personally, I use a lot of like categorizing genres and subgenres, mostly for organizing my record collection.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always like new records and stuff coming out, and I get a record and I'm like, I don't even know what section of my collection to put this in.
That's dedication. Subgenres, even, that's even more dedication. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I have I have umbrellas, categories of genres. So I might have like more of the synth heavy stuff like synth pop, dark wave in one section, or like more of like the guitar driven stuff like goth rock, post punk in other sections. But there's so much innovation and so much playing around and mixing of styles happening in recent years that and that's a good problem to have. That I have a lot of music where it's like, I'm not sure which section of my record collection this really belongs in, because it's just it's borrowing and mixing from so many different things.
Right. No, it's true. Yeah, I'm there. I understand what you're saying. So
Yeah. So before we take questions from the live chat, I wanted to mention the Tampa guide. The Absolution Fest website has a guide to Tampa, and this is going to be especially useful for those coming in from out of town, with recommendations on all kinds of things in the area: lodging, restaurants, shopping. So the lodging section of the website here. Looks like there's 4 recommended places for hotels. Of course, you can always do like Airbnb or something like that.
yes.
But there's the Hampton Inn, Tampa Downtown Channel District. So that one would probably be that one's not going to be like walking distance to the festival, correct?
Let me go back and look at these because I honestly don't remember. I'm sorry. And this is, I know we have this on the, like you said, on the Tampa guide. So I'm pull that up real quick here so I can see them myself. All right. So, right. The Hampton Inn, Tampa Downtown Channel District would be a little further away. Correct. Yes. It's not within walking distance, but if I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's a trolley car that runs through that area, and you can take the trolley from the hotel to Ybor. So the trolley does go into Ybor. I know that much. And so, yeah, I mean, you can still get there, but it's not within walking distance. The other ones that are on here, the Hampton Inn and Suites, Tampa Ybor, and then the Hilton Garden Inn, Tampa Ybor, and the Hotel Haya, which is more of a newer hotel that they built in Ybor. Those are all within walking distance of the event.
Right.
And then, like you mentioned, there's plenty of Airbnbs in Ybor. Plenty of them. They're all over the place.
Yes. And Ybor itself is very walkable. So Ybor is what, like a mile or 2 mile stretch of town?
Yeah, I don't know how, the length. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't really know the length, but it's not a right. You can go from one end to the next end of Ybor. I mean, and at least in the area that the event's going to be in, that people would want to be a part of. It's like a 10-minute walk from one end to the other end, probably. I mean, at most. But Ybor itself is obviously a larger area, so. I don't know how many miles though it encompasses completely. I did want to mention before we go over that we have an event this year, which we have not had in the other 2 years at Absolution. So we're trying to add more like meet and greets, and I think we're going to do something on Saturday as well. But we want to get where people can come and meet each other and have some food or have a drink if they want to have a drink, or have a soda, or whatever they want to do, outside of the loud concert areas. So we have a Absolution meet and greet party on it's called Absolution Fest Meet, Greet, and Eat Party on Friday, October 7th, which will be from 3 to 6 p.m. And that's going to be at Zydeco Breweries, which is actually in the heart of Ybor. It's only like a block or two from Crowbar, so it's not a long walk, and it's close to the hotels. And DJ Mouse, who we've mentioned a few times, actually will be playing some music there for that event for the 3 hours. So it should be a large amount of fun. And with the if you actually come and you pay the cover, it's a separate cover, but you do get a large amount with it, just so people know. I mean, you get 2 drinks.
To our little
whatever your drinks you want to have. They get appetizers, including sliders, flatbreads. I'm reading this off the event because we do have an event up here. There's actually going to be a raffle where we're going to be giving away stuff as well. It's a complimentary ticket raffle, and there's going to be a picture booth, which is very exciting, with an Absolution backdrop. So if you want to take pictures or whatever you may want to do, and then the first 50 people through the door actually get a complimentary goodie bag as well. So should be a really good time. So I just want to make sure that we got that out there. But that is going to be from 3 to 6 on Friday at Zydeco, and then I know that Procession also does a brunch, which I'm not sure exactly what day. I think he's doing that on Friday, like in the morning time. So that's also something that'll be happening. We'll put more information up about that. And then on Saturday, I believe we'll be doing some type of a little get together as well. But we'll be adding more information to the website. So keep an eye on absolutionfest.com or the Tampa Guide. That's actually on Facebook as well, the Absolution Tampa Guide, so you can check that out as well on there. But I'm excited about the meet and greet, because I think it'll be a good way for everybody to maybe meet some new people that they don't know very well, or feel maybe a little more comfortable talking to people outside of the concert environment.
Yeah, and those meet and greets are always a lot of fun. So the one that you mentioned, Friday night at Zydeco. That's a newer one, but last year Procession did do a brunch. I didn't get to make it last year. This year I will be at that Procession brunch. I'll be at the meet and greet. I got my lunch and dinner plans for Friday, and there's a group on Facebook, the Absolution Fest group on Facebook. I noticed that last year there's a lot of people in that group that will post, hey, there's a group of us that are meeting at this restaurant at this time. So there's all kinds of folks that organize kind of non-formal meetups around those days as well. So if anyone's looking to meet up with some folks outside of the concert environment for other meetups, I would recommend joining the Facebook group, because there usually are some folks that are posting about other meetups or other non-formal. I usually leave Sunday for Absolution Fest, and I usually do the La Creperia for brunch before I head to the before I head to the airport. So I'll probably post in the Absolution Fest Facebook group if anyone's interested in doing that. I know a lot of folks by Sunday are already pretty kicked from the 3 days of the festival, but we had a small group of us last year. We had DJ Mouse, we had Jet, we had Elizabeth from Procession Magazine. So there were a few of us that met up at La Creperia on Sunday after the festival last year.
Nice.
So that Facebook group is a great resource. I'm not going to, talk through all of the like restaurants and stuff that are listed on the Tampa guide, because there's a lot of them here, but there is some really great stuff. So I would recommend that anyone who's coming in for the festival does keep an eye out for some of those meetups. They're always at great restaurants. So the next section on the Tampa guide, there's only a few, so we can talk about these. There's 3 shops listed for the shopping section. First up is one of my favorites. I didn't get a chance to go there last year because I was interviewing Boot Blacks when my group of people went. But Ravens and Rockers, really cool, like old school style goth and punk shop. And they sell like a lot of like alternative clothing and gear and accessories. And what's really cool about Ravens and Rockers is they have a secondhand, like an alternative secondhand section. So if anyone's into like thrifting or being eco-friendly, really cool secondhand section there. And then of course they have a lot of new products as well.
Yep. And they've grown a large amount. That store's amazing, and it's a little bit outside of Ybor, but it's definitely worth checking out. You have to go visit them. Yeah, and they're wonderful people, and they help out a large amount too with with promotion for the events.
Right. And the next shop is also really cool, an oddity shop. So anyone who's into dark and creepy, spooky things, Dysfunctional Grace is in Ybor, oddity shop. They have taxidermy and all kinds of little oddities and novelties.
Yeah. I don't know much about Dysfunctional Grace. I've heard wonderful things about it. I've been in there once, and it was very, very interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's Ybor's chock full of like amazing places to check out, and that's definitely, like you mentioned, one of them for sure. It gives you plenty of things to do during the day before the bands start playing later in the evening.
Yeah, I will definitely be hitting up Dysfunctional Grace while I'm in Ybor. And then the third one is another shop in Ybor. This is a really cool vintage shop, La France. Yeah. So they're less of a thrift shop and more of I would say like a secondhand boutique. Lots of vintage finds in there. Really cool shop. Yes. So that is the shopping section of the guide. There's a number of sites to see listed here in the sightseeing section. So there's La Union Italiana Cemetery. So I've heard that this is the like mob cemetery where the mobsters are buried.
Interesting. I don't know enough about that, but something I would need to check out myself. So that's pretty cool because Azzy and Mouse put this together. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I see they have a couple of cemeteries on here, so that's pretty cool.
Yep, and they got the Oak Lawn Cemetery. I think that one is one of the like bigger historic cemeteries around the Tampa area. They also listed the Sulphur Springs Water Tower. Now, this one I usually don't get out to see just because it's a little further out. It's not like in and around Ybor. But if anyone's taking an extended stay in Tampa, it's an interesting little landmark there, the water tower.
Yeah, that's been there for as long as I can remember. It's very interesting because it just stands there out like in the middle of, I think it was supposed to be something else at one time, but it's very interesting for sure.
Yes, and the last on the sightseeing section is the Ghost Tour Ybor City. So it says it starts at 8 p.m. Do you know if that's every day they have the Ghost Tour?
I don't know. I know the Ybor is famous for its hauntings and for many places there that are supposedly haunted. But I don't know the exact. You'd have to look into that probably a little bit more. But I know they do ghost tours. But I don't know the exact hours or what days they do them on. It looks like I'm looking at their website now, and it does look like they're fairly regular. I mean, it looks like they're always running on the weekends, so they should be available for all 3 days of Absolution if you want to go on a ghost tour.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I didn't get a chance to do that last time I was there. I feel like I have to schedule another trip to come into Ybor and Tampa. There's so much to do. It'll be hard to get in a lot of this stuff during the festival.
Yeah.
But that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and and there was another place that which we'll have to add this to there, the Spookeasy Lounge, which was, I believe it was open last time. It had been closed, but now they're actually reopening in a brand new location, and that is for people who are into the dark scene for sure. It's going to be very amazing. They have like a upstairs. From what I've heard, the new place is going to be upstairs with like a kava, kratom type lounge, and then with a large amount of spooky decor all over the place. And then the downstairs, they're actually going to have a downstairs at this new location, which is going to have a full bar if you want to have drinks and stuff. So that's another place to check out because they will be open by the time Absolution starts. So, and I don't know the exact location address, but we'll update that to the website. And one good thing by Absolution, which I don't know if we really didn't mention, was that it's in October, and I know like up in the Midwest and the East Coast there, it starts getting a little cooler at that time. So nice thing is going to be wonderful weather here in Tampa in October. Shouldn't be crazy hot like it is now, but it'll be warm, and it's really a wonderful time to come down to Florida and enjoy some nice weather for October and with fantastic music.
Yeah, I think this year's going to be a little nicer weather-wise than some of the previous years. Like for me, coming from the north, the October Tampa weather seems very hot. Like to me, weather in the 90s is very hot, and it was really hot last year. It was very hot in 2019, but it seems like this year in general, it's been a cooler summer for across the board. So maybe it'll be nice weather in like the 70s, 80 degrees. That would be nice.
I think it'll be a little cooler than it was the last couple of years, but like you mentioned, but yeah, I mean, it's a nice perk. And then if you really want to go, if you're a beach person and you really want to go enjoy the beaches, those are available for all around the area during the day. The weather is still nice enough to be able to go do that if you want to do something along those lines. But it's a fun place to come and see, and vacation for a handful of days while you're enjoying music. So.
Yeah, and what's funny is that in 2019, when I went down to Absolution Fest, the last day I was there, I left Tampa. It was like 90 degrees when I left Tampa, and then when I landed back in Pittsburgh, it was 50 degrees here.
Exactly. So yeah, I remember I used to live in Wisconsin for many years, so I remember those the change of seasons, which sometimes I miss that, but I don't really miss when it gets like freezing cold.
Yeah, there are pros and cons for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But you're right. Great time to visit Florida. There are two other sections of the guide here that are kind of also sightseeing things. First is the streetcar, which you had mentioned previously. So that streetcar, does it run all through Tampa?
Not all through Tampa, but it runs through the Channelside district, downtown, and then the Ybor area. So, all around this like specific area here, it'll take you around. Like, I mean, so if you want to take it outside of Ybor, you can. And I mean, there's other areas that we could probably add to the guide. That are a little bit outside of Ybor, but like only a handful of minutes outside, and you can take the trolley there for free, and then you can take the trolley right back into Ybor for no, again, it's free, so you don't have to worry about paying for it, and you don't have to worry about driving or anything.
Very cool. And the last thing on the guide, there's also an event section listed at the bottom, and that mentions like the meet and greet you were talking about, and a few other things. But the last item on the guide there is the Ybor City chickens. So can't talk about Ybor without talking about the chickens. There are wild chickens walking around all over the place in Ybor. There's a Ybor City Chicken Society that protects them and takes care of them.
Yep. Yeah, they've always been here. They've always been here. Been here for as long as I can remember. Started coming down to Ybor myself. As I mentioned, I believe it was like I started going to clubs like in the late '80s, like '87, '88, and the chickens were still here then, and they're still here, and it's very unique. It's a fun part about Ybor. There's not many places you go where you see where you see a bunch of chickens just walking all over the place. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and what's unique about the Ybor chickens is that they're very used to coexisting with people around. So they're not like real aggressive or mean like some chickens can be. So they're just they're chill. They're just walking around. They're existing, living their chicken lives.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yes, exactly. They are used to people because they've been down here for so long. And yeah, it's just part of the history of this wonderful area. That's the other thing. There's a large amount of history if you're into history and learning about that. I mean, there's other tours that they have in the Ybor area that they'll explain to you the history of Ybor and what's gone on. And you can, there's a lot of street, I don't know what you call those. They erected like some monuments where they have like the information about certain areas and what happened there, and you can still see like the original names on a large amount of the buildings as well from some of the places from many years gone by. So it's pretty amazing area, Ybor City, if you've never visited before.
Absolutely. I love Ybor so much. Like I said, I feel like I need to just go take a vacation down there sometime for maybe another I'll come down for a communion after dark event outside of Absolution at some point and do some more sightseeing type of stuff. But really great stuff to see in the area. So even more reason for anyone watching this who's considering coming to Absolution Fest, book those tickets, come on down. It's a ton of fun. But we've talked about the lineup, we've talked about the sponsors, sightseeing in the area. So now I think we can take a few minutes, see if there's any questions in the live chat to go over before we sign off for the day here. So Dave, have you noticed any questions coming through in the chat?
No, there hasn't really been any questions. Actually, now. We can talk about the devil, eh?
Oh, and Ron just posted. Hi, Ron. Ron posted, I have a question for Mark, which might not be easy to answer. Could you shed some light on what the process is to set something up like this? I have no doubt it can't be easy. He needs to enjoy himself this year as he promised last year he would.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just a process of contacting, it's a large amount of work. Yeah, I mean, but it's fun. It's fun if you love music and like I do. Then I think, and I've been promoting for a while. I mean, it's just a process of months of contacting artists and trying to work with them on getting them down here for the event. It's not a event. It's not an event that you can just put together overnight, obviously, but it's fun. It's fun work. So yeah, I mean it takes hours on end, of course, of dedication to follow up on some of the things and contact people, and and stuff. But yeah, it's just mainly picking out the bands you would like to have play, and then seeing if they're interested.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of work working with some of the local promoters in my local scene. I know how much work goes into, putting together shows. And we have a dark music festival here in Pittsburgh. It's a little more punk focused, but Skull Fest, and that's a multi-day festival that happens every year. And they have a bunch of people who organize shows for that. And it seems like it's a lot of work. So I really appreciate what you do, Mark. I appreciate
Oh,
that
thank
this
you.
festival is available every year. I always have so much fun at Absolution Fest. It's one of the highlights of my year.
Oh, awesome! I appreciate that. No, I appreciate everybody who's been attending, and yeah, I thank you for coming down every year. It's been fantastic, and to see a few other people who've been coming down from other states, it's amazing. And it's good for the local area. I mean, people coming down, spending money here, and helping out the businesses, and getting to see some good bands and stuff. So I tried to uh, I went to Wave Gothic Treffen many, many times in Germany over the years, and so I kind of like when I started this, that was one of my inspirations was that festival because I had attended it so many times, and I wanted to do something on a much smaller scale, obviously much smaller scale, but similar to that style of what they do there. It's just very exciting to see that many people come in from other places other than your local area here. I mean, not that I love the people in Tampa, but it's just fun to see people coming from outside of Tampa to actually enjoy an event and be a part of it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Wave Gothic Treffen. I hear it's pretty incredible, but yeah, that brings a lot of money into the economy in Leipzig. I'm sure that
Oh yeah.
Absolution Fest every year is going to continue to be more and more of a source of driving the local Ybor economy. So really great to see. Dave, maybe one day I'll go to Vigate and I'll get to meet up with you.
Absolutely. Gotta make that happen.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And Dave, maybe one day you could fly into the States for Absolution Fest.
Yes, that is the plan in the future.
Yeah. Well, we'll hang out with you when you come for Absolution Fest one year.
Yes.
So let's see anything else come through the chat. So no other questions, but Ron said it was great meeting Mark last year and this year for actors. His passion and dedication definitely is evident. Stinks we can't be there this year because of our move. We will be there in spirit. Oh, you will be there in spirit, Ron. It was really great to meet you last year.
Yeah, Ron's a cool dude. Thanks, Ron.
So we have gotten through our agenda for today. Mark, any closing remarks for our viewers while we're still live?
Just to say, hey, I appreciate everybody who supports Community After Dark, Absolution Fest. I mean, it means a large amount. So thank you, and I really believe this year's event is going to be amazing. It's going to be very exciting with the artists, a large amount of like you mentioned, international artists, which I think is fantastic. We tried to expand it a little bit this year with the type of artists we added. So I hope that a large amount of people will come and enjoy this and make it a fun year. And then I'll get to see everybody and hopefully meet a large amount of people this year. Come and say hi if you see me, while you're there.
I definitely will do that. Everyone else should. And likewise, if anyone sees me at the festival and wants to say hello, even if I've never met you before, I get people sometimes come up to me at these things and say, hey, I follow you online. And I love when that kind of stuff happens. So anyone who sees me there, please don't be shy. Mark, thank you so much for coming on for a second year in a row. Thank you for all that you do with organizing the festival and Communion After Dark and all of the great things that you do to contribute to the music scene.
Well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you having me on again on the Gothy Roundtable. It's fantastic. You do a wonderful job with the show, and I appreciate you actually, giving us a spotlight to talk about Absolution.
Yes, we're very excited to have you on. One of our favorite episodes for the second year in a row now. So hopefully we'll see you again next year to talk about Absolution Fest 2023.
Fantastic.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in, everyone in the live chat.